All right, well, we've got elf on a shelf, and we got a goat on a boat. Well, goat with the life preserver, goat in a barn. Doesn't rhyme, but she's in her sling, and she's upright. Welcome back to the Renewed Homestead. Ben and Denise here, and there's Hope the goat. Not Hope the daughter, Hope the goat. And she's upright. How about that? Well, we talked to the vet, and she said it would really be good if she could be up. And we talked about a sling, and we ordered one. And well, you know, it might work for a Chihuahua dog. It was way too small, so we had to get innovative. And we used a moving blanket, doubled it over, cut some holes. A little bit of makeshift measuring, some string from the hay, chains from the tractor. Looks like some kind of torture apparatus, but it's working. She's upright. That way. This way. This one. This one here. This one will sit there. All right, this goat. Where you go? None.
I was just moving that over there so they stay apart.
Yeah, let's see here.
You want to roll her back over, right?
Yep, I have to. Nice goat. All right.
All right, what's the best way to do this? Oh, did you see she kicked?
Nice little.
All right, I don't know what the best way to do this is, so you have to tell me.
I don't know. I don't know. We're just gonna get some legs in some holes and see. Let's see about that one. Oh, here, let's. No, just let me get this one first, since that one seems to go in. So.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for putting that in there, sweetie.
Nice aim.
All right.
No, that's
The
good.
wrong one.
Okay, so now, let's see, I think,
I was trying to hold this up, so
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
no.
here.
right, so
Right,
you,
this one, right?
probably that one, and then probably.
We don't do that yet, right? I need to hold her up here.
Well, no, I'm gonna hold her, and you're gonna
Okay.
hook these.
Okay.
So go around there. There we go.
All right.
I'm gonna lift her whole thing, so you
Okay.
just put that one in that hand,
Okay.
and then this one in this hand, because I can't. That's what I'm saying. Now you should be able to, when I get her up. Ready?
I think so. Sorry, I'm trying. Okay, there we go. And this one's not looped yet.
We have to tie him.
How did you tie him?
Just go loop in it. Here, if you wanna. Why don't you just hold this side?
Okay.
Yep.
Here, I can hold him.
Sure.
Yep. She's good right there, right?
Looks like it.
Ow, Opie, don't. Her horns got me. Good girl, Hope. Okay, it's okay, honey. Don't.
Okay.
All right.
So, oh, she's
I
got
can
one.
tell.
She's got one leg. Let it down just a little bit. There we go. Okay, now.
That might be why she was acting so
Listen.
weird, huh? Up a little higher, there we go.
Pull it higher. Oh, I thought we had her up where we wanted her. What do we got back here? So, okay, so I need to.
All right, let's see this leg.
So I need to-
Yeah, we need to go up just a little.
All right, just pull it to one side at the time. Yeah, you can leave one side.
Yeah.
Whatever. Except you're. Kiko. Now you want this side up too?
Yeah. We still look a little low, but.
Shouldn't have to be carrying too much weight there. Let's just use that, except that is, how's that?
Okay, that works.
That actually gives her a little bit of, so now maybe she can move her legs around and try to.
Hold on, hold on.
I can make her higher if you want.
No, I just wanted to try to get some more on this leg here. Hold on, there we go.
And what'd she do this morning when you were moving her?
Well, it actually doesn't look like much, but it's working. So she was facing this way. She had rolled herself facing that way this morning, so that was a good sign. And then when I picked her up to move her, she actually kicked her back legs. So that's a great sign. She still can't stand, and she still can't walk, obviously, if she can't stand, but there is improvement. Now, we last talked to you, we had talked about Listeria. So the vet has now changed over to Meningeal worms. Now I want to talk a little bit about some of the differences. Now this is not an exhaustive video. We are not vets, nor are we medical practitioners, so I'm just throwing that out there. This has been our experience and the research that we have done into what's going on with Hope. So when this started, we first thought this was polio. And with goats, you're going to hear polio and listeria. And then meningeal worms is not really common for goats or sheep, but it does happen. So polio is just a vitamin B deficiency. It's a thiamine deficiency, essentially. Now, goats will deplete this if they're stressed or sick. So it's really important to get them vitamin B when they're facing any kind of stress or they're facing any kind of illness. And you can actually pick up vitamin B paste at just about any farm store. And when this first started, she was acting a little bit drunk. It wasn't anything major, but I noticed her stumbling a little bit. Now, they had been without their mineral because of the way the storm kind of changed the landscape. We were having a little bit of trouble getting their mineral over to their new paddock, but they had only been without it for 3 days. So I wasn't really buying that it was a vitamin B deficiency, but we put her mineral in, and then she went to it, she started eating, and as y'all know, we do the free choice cafeteria style mineral, which works really well for goats and sheep. We had gotten that back in there, and then the next day I reevaluated her and she was still stumbling a little bit. So my first reaction was to think it was polio. So I gave her vitamin B paste, and we did that for about 2 days. And I noticed it wasn't improving, so that's when we called the vet and we got her over to the vet, just because I know that there's other diseases out there like Listeria, which can be really harmful. Now, the vet also thought Listeria, especially after all of the rain we had. Now, majority of cases of Listeria, it's rotten feed or moldy hay, but you can get that with moldy leaves. It's basically a bacteria that can affect goats and sheep, and it causes neurological issues. Sheep aren't as affected by it by goats. It is not good to have because if you don't catch it quick, it's only got about a 30% survival rate. So Listeria is bacterial, and that bacteria will get in and cause all kinds of neurological symptoms. Now with polio, they'll throw their head back frequently because it causes a headache. They'll start to stumble, they'll look uncoordinated, things of that nature. So that's why polio and Listeria and even meningeal worms in the beginning can all look the same. So that's why we treated first for polio. It's the easiest thing. The vet had even said the vitamin B paste should have given some improvement if it was polio. So we knew we weren't dealing with polio. So we went to Listeria, which is more common than meningeal worms in goats. And of course, you know, meningeal worms are rare, but she got it. So like I said, Listeria is a bacterial infection, and that's also going to cause neurological symptoms, lameness, uncoordination, acting like they're drunk. They can tilt their head back because their head feels weird. So you can see there's a lot of similarities. Now, meningeal worm, unlike Listeria, it's basically a worm. It's a parasite. Now, the parasite lives in deer, and it actually has a natural life cycle with deer where it crawls up the spinal cord, it goes in their brain, it replicates basically, and then they poop it out, and it really doesn't affect deer. But what happens is slugs will come, slugs will go across deer droppings, and then they will basically take that nematode or that parasite, and they're going to run it across the pasture, and they're going to sit on a blade of grass, and the goats or the sheep will actually eat it, and then they will ingest the meningeal worms. Now, there are a lot of sheep and a lot of goats that will be, they might have a little bit of an infection, but their immune systems are strong enough to fight it off. Now, again, symptoms are very similar to Listeria. Stumbling, uncoordination, acting like they're drunk, inability to walk, inability to stand. So you can see all three of these are extremely similar to each other. But one thing with meningeal worms, and I actually didn't even catch this, they will get really itchy, extremely itchy, and they will start to lose a little bit of hair in those spots that are really itchy. Now, Hope, several weeks ago, we noticed that she had lost hair on her neck. I had assumed that the buck had actually just rubbed it. We weren't sure what had happened, but it's grown back.
Oh, okay.
But she had a bald spot on each side of her neck. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe it might be, biting lice or, whatever. One of the first things you think about, but that didn't even click with me, the hair loss and the symptoms that she was experiencing and developing and showing.
Yeah, and it's on her neck right where her horn can hit. So she can sit there and just rub that horn on that itchy spot.
So, but that explains. So that is one of the clear symptoms of meningeal worm is bald spots and extreme itchiness. Now, like I said, sometimes they get a little itchy and then it goes away on its own. But when it becomes severe and that itching becomes really severe, or you start to notice more severe symptoms like inability to walk, that's when you absolutely need to treat it. And the trick to meningeal worms is catching it early. Now, you're not going to be able to go get ivermectin and have this work. Ivermectin can have some benefit, but the issue is because the parasite will actually get up into their nervous system, and this is what happens. So in deer, it's a natural life cycle where it kind of goes up into the spinal cord, it gets into the brain, it replicates, doesn't really affect the deer. It's a different trajectory in goats and sheep, so it starts to burrow in their nerve pathways and starts to wreak havoc all over the place. And that's where they get all of the nerve symptoms, and you can have nerve damage. So catching it early is critical, but you need something that's going to cross the blood-brain barrier to get rid of that parasite. This is not an internal parasite. This is something very rare that happens, but unfortunately it can happen and it can be extremely serious. So early prevention is key, and then you're going to need something like fenbendazole, dexamethasone, things of that nature. So steroids are important, anti-inflammatories, and then you're going to need something that breaks that blood-brain barrier. Now, we didn't catch the meningeal worm. We thought it was Listeria at first, but we have been giving her cayenne and garlic since the beginning of this. So hopefully that helped boost her immune system and helped her.
Slows the growth of the worms too.
Exactly. A cayenne and garlic are an antihelminthic, which is basically just to say an antiparasitic. So right now we are treating for meningeal worms. We've already treated her for the parasites through a wormer that can get through the blood-brain barrier. And then we're also treating with dexamethasone. She completed her treatment of that yesterday. Mm-hmm. So we contacted the vet. The vet was really encouraged that she's showing improvement. If she hadn't been showing any improvement, she's just foofering.
She's gassy.
Can't blame her.
No.
She's been laying down. But so we're going to continue with anti-inflammatories. But I have also ordered teasel. Now, teasel is an invasive weed across all of Western North America.
I thought that was the stuff you put on your Christmas tree.
That's tinsel. which I don't like tinsel. Do y'all like tinsel? I don't like tinsel. I think it looks too
like
messy.
tinsel.
I know you do. So teasel is a weed that most people hate. It's considered a noxious weed, but it's showing really, really great improvement for helping nerve damage in patients with MS or muscular dystrophy. So I've ordered some to give it to her to see if we can help heal some of this nerve damage that she's facing. We probably have a long road ahead while she heals from this and while we heal the nerve damage. So we're getting her up a few times a day for about 5-10 minutes. We don't want to keep her up too long because it kind of puts some strain on her belly, but she needs to get up.
Yeah. Well, and we come out here and we roll her back and forth and
Stand her
up and move her, because laying here, she's laying in her poop. So we clean that multiple times a day so she doesn't lay in it. She's actually doing pretty good.
Yeah,
I was hoping to see some kicking with the back leg. That's what I've been watching for. But
well, she did it to me earlier.
yeah.
So we're still treating with cayenne and garlic and sorghum and honey, and we're going to be doing, we've done the chlorine dioxide. I haven't noticed much of a difference, honestly, and she doesn't like it at all.
No.
So I've given her a break with that for the last 2 days. I gave her a break yesterday from the herbs just to give her system a little bit of a chance to, take a break, and then she'll get the cayenne and garlic tomorrow. And we'll try the chlorine dioxide again, but we did that religiously for about 2.5 weeks, and it was really hard. We had to force it down her, and we didn't notice any difference, so I'm giving her a little bit of a break from that right now.
Yeah.
And then the teasel should be here any day now. Now, I ordered it from Homegrown Herbalist. We do have an affiliate link, so if there are herbs that you need, please order from the Homegrown Herbalist. The link is in the description, and it will actually help support us. So,
And we do appreciate that.
yes.
And then she gets her favorite treat once a day. And what would that be, miss? What's your favorite treat? No, I don't have one.
She says, sweet taters, please.
Oh, yes, you love the sweet taters, don't you?
She loves sweet taters.
Baked, of course. Can't just slice it up raw.
I gotta bake it for her.
Bake it, make it extra sweet.
We give her one sweet potato a day as a treat, and it's really, loaded with potassium.
Yeah, well, that, and we sometimes will dip a little bit of into her mineral to make sure she's getting extra minerals.
Yeah, because we don't need another issue on top of this.
Well, yeah, her body's going through a lot, so any extra we can give her,
It's got to feel good, honey, huh?
I would think, just laying on your side all day has got to be uncomfortable. And we left the sling down just a little bit lower so that we're hoping that maybe she could push off with her legs. I'm not seeing any of that, but she doesn't seem uncomfortable. Definitely better than
the other
day
day
before last, yeah. Oh.
So it looks a little janky, but it works.
It worked well,
and it was free.
and it saved our backs too, because we were both coming out here, and she'd get her around the front, and I'd get her around the middle, and that was putting pressure in her middle and killing our backs, because
yours more than mine, because you were taking most of the weight.
Stand all the way up, but
and we want to just kind of give you an update on Hope, but also for those of you that have goats that may not have experienced this, or you're new to goats and you're not really sure what to look for. They're all very similar. Now, the issue is there's really no great way to test for Listeria or meningeal worms. You can do a spinal tap, and sometimes that will show. There's a protein that shows up in the testing, but it's really expensive, and it doesn't always show accurately. So really, that's why it's kind of like, okay, we test for polio, then we go to Listeria, then we go for meningeal worms, because it's kind of based on symptoms, and they're all so similar at first that it's hard. But if you notice excessive itching, that's really going to be the difference between a Listeria infection or a meningeal worm infection. Yeah. And so the only way to get rid of meningeal worms, now some goats and sheep are showing basically, what's the word I'm looking for? They're able to get over it. They're able to get infected with it and not have it cause any issues. And I'm sorry, I just hit a blank on the word I'm thinking of. But they're showing some resistance to meningeal worms. And our hope is if we can get Hope through this, that she'll have a resistance, or maybe her babies will, because her body will know, okay, hey, I know how to defend this now.
Yeah.
But the only way to really get it out of your pasture is to keep deer away, because like slugs aren't going to care. Slugs are going to go right through a fence, and they're going to go through the pasture. And we live in the South, and there's moisture, and slugs like moisture, and it's land slugs. It's not even water slugs. So they're going to go through and go over that deer poop. And yeah, and we have slugs here and we have deer here. So the only thing you can do really is to keep the deer out of your pasture, which is very difficult.
Yeah.
Or hopefully you've got livestock that are resistant to it, but it is rare. So that's a good thing.
It's rare, but we had a sheep die from it, and now we're fighting it with her.
Yeah.
But we do have more pasture fence up, so that'll help keep the deer out. And we have got the chickens up there now, so in the spring, when the larvae and more slugs start coming out, because it's cold. Well, it's not cold. It's 63 degrees today.
Yeah, we went from 10 degrees to 63 today in 4 or 5 days.
So,
and then 2 days are supposed to be really cold again.
Yeah, but we got the chickens up there. They'll help with the slug control and keeping the deer out. But goats and sheep. Mr. William over at Permaculture Consultant, you're wrong, man. You're wrong. He said sheep over goats.
You like sheep better than goats, though.
I do.
I thought you did.
Well, I mean, now people say goats are bulletproof. They'll eat a tin can and they'll be fine. Well, that's not been our experience. But the goats stay in place.
The sheep have been the problem.
The sheep are leading everybody out, and then the goats follow them. So, William, I think you're wrong.
They're going to say, cull the sheep. And we are, but we're trying to wait till March because a couple of them are pregnant.
I know. The real problem child, Rosemary, who we named after my grandmother, she has the best body condition. She's probably the largest female we've got, and just great body condition, but she is the chief offender of going through that fence, and then everybody else is learning from her. So she's got to go. We're hoping we can get a couple babies, but she's been 3 seasons without getting pregnant, so
she's gonna have to go
either way
anyways.
she's going. But
yeah, so and we'll keep you updated, but we're talking about doing a sheep butchery class in March, so we'll keep you updated for that. But so chickens, we've got the chickens in the pasture not only to eat the fly larvae to help reduce flies, but as he stated, the chickens are there, which will help get rid of slugs or anything of that nature. So hopefully we never have to deal with this again.
And it's less food we have to feed them.
That's true too.
Free food, right? Right?
You'll get that this evening.
Well, we've been having a lot of people have been praying for hope and a full recovery. We really do, and we appreciate all the prayers. And we're all praying for you, and we will keep you posted on Miss Hope. But she actually looks pretty comfortable there. I'm glad.
I know.
She's been up for about 10 minutes now, so
she's doing good. We'll get you down here in just a moment, baby.
Yeah. So anyway, onwards and forwards. But I don't know if they order a hoary knife today.
I know, we can try.
Yeah, well, if you want that hoary knife for that stocking, get it ordered, and we will get it in the mail immediately. So hopefully we can get it there by Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right, everybody. Well, hope you're doing well. Take care. God bless. We'll see y'all on the next video.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Make it so.